Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It is me, the crafty drag queen of them all, Unica. How y'all doing today? Well, today's a very special day. Today is Storytime Sunday. I'm super excited about this. Storytime Sunday is a day where I just get to craft with you guys and enjoy my time with you and tell you guys a little story about what's been going on in the week or how I'm feeling or, just my personal opinion. So let's go ahead and dive in, shall we? Storytime Sunday today. This is a really big story because Friday I had a lovely day at work. Now I use a lot of sarcasm in this when I state this. I had a very rough day, to be honest. And the reason why I had a very rough day was because I had to drive a very special route, because you guys do know me as a bus driver. One thing is that with driving these routes, you get lots of different types of people. There's some routes where it's all college students that you get all day. There's some where it's, just where you keep driving by the local pharmacy and the nursing home. So some of the, senior citizens are in nursing homes. They can have like a day pass for a few hours and they're able to go out. They're able to take bus and stuff like that. Now, one of the routes that I had to deal with is the one that is over by our homeless shelter. And I believe we have a few in town, but they're literally a block away from each other. And there's one where it does allow people that are, on some type of substance or drunk. And there's another section in one building that does not allow that. Well, then we also have the Catholic Charities. With that being said, I had a great morning until about 9 a.m. And around 9 o'clock, usually they do kick some people out at that time. So what I had is I had a bus full of people, and I had one female who, you can obviously tell she was on some type of substance. Am I judging her? No. My heart really does ache when I see these people that are, like this, and there's nothing really I can do. So I mean, I've donated my time to helping at the shelter. I've done, I've crocheted a few hats for some people that I see that don't have very much. And what had happened was this girl was on some type of substance, and I had a bus full of people. While the person that was sitting next to her was an older gentleman who had a walker. Across from them was a wheelchair, a person that was in a wheelchair. So those seats where she was sitting at are for elderly and anybody in a mobile device, including a walker or a wheelchair. And when I saw her, the first thing she did is she had a cigarette in her mouth. And that upsetted me very, very quickly. Do not put a cigarette in your mouth while you're on my bus. I ask you politely, please take it out. Obviously, that set her off. Okay. So as I'm proceeding through the route, I catch up and I notice that, the people that I just picked up was a group of elderly citizens. And I mentioned to her she needs to remove her feet off of the bus seats because there is a senior passenger that needs to be seating. And she said, so? Like, she gave me a lot of attitude. I'm not gonna say word for word of what she said. But she was being very rude and disrespectful. And I had a lot of difficulty. I gave her the option, please put your feet down. That's all I'm asking. Well, when they begin to use profanity at you, that's one thing that you don't need to tolerate. You don't need to tolerate someone being rude and disrespectful. You're asking them nicely, they're choosing not to put their feet down, they feel like they have some type of authority on the bus. And when I said this to her, I had some of her friends, and I do say friends, because they were all coming off of the same substance, it seemed like. And he became very, very, very rude, using a lot of profanity, and even called me certain names that, I used to be called in high school. Does that bother me? No. It's the fact that I will not allow anyone to disrespect me. I don't care if you're on substance. I don't care if you're the most healthiest person on the world. I don't care if you're my supervisor. I don't care if you are my family member. You will not disrespect me. That is one thing I do not allow. And I did everything of protocol. So I know what you guys are thinking. Well, did you follow protocol? Could you have handled it different? Maybe I could have just kept my mouth shut, but I was raised where, people don't just let senior citizens, anyone who is a female that is pregnant, anybody with a mobility device, or an elderly person stand up in a moving bus. If you are young, healthy, and you're able to get up, you can get up. And obviously she was able to. And what I did is I called my supervisors and I let them know the situation, because you don't have your manager sitting on the bus with you. They're out making sure that the roads are clear. They're working on other things. They're supervising us, sometimes right behind us. They're making sure that we are doing what we need to do. We're operating the buses properly. We're not on our cell phones talking, playing with it at a stoplight, stuff like that. And I don't know what came over me yesterday. I mean, it was obviously something very strong, to where I was really upset that I got disrespected the way I did. I mean, yeah, get over it. But I got disrespected the way I did, and I had to file a report once I got to work about what happened. Why did she become upset? Why did I kick her off my bus? Well, like I said, I was taught with respect. And you will respect somebody who is not able to hold on to their, who's one older. I mean, obviously, if me and my mom are sitting on a very packed bus and there's one seat available, I'm not going to sit. I'm going to give it to my mother. And if it wasn't just my mother and it was some random old person, I would give it to them too. And this is not the first time I've addressed this. I've addressed this with some students, either college, college, or, high school kids. They are perfectly healthy. They are very young and fit. They can stand while this 70, 80-year-old person can sit, okay? I calmed myself down. I finished my day. I was still polite, just like I was in the morning with all the other passengers. Just with her and that other gentleman and all 5 of their friends, I didn't want to deal with. I'm not going to deal with someone being disrespectful. So when I got to work, like I said, I filled out the incident report, and I don't know what came over me, but I literally just bursted into tears as I was typing the report. I hit them very well, and then when I got into my car is when I really, really, really just let everything out. I was just crying my eyes out. I couldn't stop. And then I started to think, how can someone turn to drugs? What lifestyle? I mean, this is just me. I'm not asking for anyone's personal opinion, but I mean, you begin to wonder, did this person have, everything in their life, given to them? Did they have a mommy and daddy that just loved them unconditionally? A nice home, food on the table, but just hung out with the wrong crowd at school? Or was it different? Did she not have places to go? Did her family abuse her? Was she faced with some type of, torment or, some type of abuse? Is this the lifestyle that she was brought into? Because I can tell you right now, there's some people that I know about that. They had children, and look at where they are now. They are, oops, they are, not able to have their kids. And I'm not mentioning names, but if they watch the video, they might be like, hey, maybe he's talking about me. I guess I just don't understand. I don't like the feeling of, consuming any substance. I don't consume substances. It's just, it's really interesting. You begin to think, how did they get there? Was it the recession that happened in '01 when we went to war? Was it that early 2000s? Because you do see a lot of senior citizens. And then what's funny is with some passengers, they expect you to just hand out, what they feel like they have authority on the bus because that is their home, because that's where they are sitting from 6 a.m. till I want to say they go back into the shelter around 6 o'clock. So it's about 12 hours of just, oh, well, until I'm able to go back, I'm going to be on the buses. And it's true. They ride up and down on the buses, and they feel like they have an authority because they're constantly there and they know what time that bus is going to get there. And there's only a certain amount of buses that they ride. They ride the main one, they ride the one that goes to Walmart, they ride the one that goes to the hotel rooms over off of the highway. They ride the one that goes by like I said, the hospital. And then they go riding around the shelter. Wherever the shelter buses are, they will stay on those all day until it's time. And it really does hurt me, and I pray for them. I pray that, they don't have to keep living this lifestyle, and, they can find the help that they need. And for those that, maybe once had an addiction, I'm very proud of those people that, got their stuff together. But it's like, it's not hard. They choose, to me, it's not hard. Maybe because I haven't been in that situation. Well, hold on, I lied. I've seen where we've never had anything and we had to start from the bottom. I've seen that. I've seen that with my mom. I've seen that with myself. I've seen that with my sister. We've all been kicked down to the ground, but then we fight to get back up. Because if we don't do it, no one else is going to do it for us. And it's really painful to watch these people. But the point of this story was that I was really emotional yesterday. I couldn't even control, driving my car to go pick up Mr. Mubu. I just bursted into tears, and it was everything. And, the fact that it's true what they say, when the holidays are here, people tend to get more depressed. And I'm not gonna lie, there was one lady that just got out of the shelter, and I told her, hi, how are you? And she goes, I'm good. She goes, just doing what I need to do. I didn't ask her questions of what are you doing? Are you finding a job? Are you staying out of the streets? Are you staying out of trouble? No, I didn't ask her any of that. I simply asked, how are you doing? And, she told me that, I don't want to cry again. She told me that she spent Christmas underneath a pine tree over at the park. And she and her boyfriend made like a tent, and they stayed warm. And somebody was passing out some sweets, so they went to go eat the sweets, and they slept. And, that hurts to hear. Why? How does one get there? And I'm not gonna lie, yesterday, as I was just finishing up my route, I saw these two teenagers still in high school. They showed me their IDs of 1920. So 1920 means the year that they are in high school. 2019 and 2020. But there they are. They went to go sit outside the store, and they are asking for money with signs, And I read the sign as I drove by again, and it says, "Two young kids in love just trying to make it through life." So maybe their family didn't approve of their relationship. So is that what happened with some people? They chose to be with someone, and maybe that their parents didn't like them, so they, ran away, or they, eloped, or something. There's so many questions and possibilities that go through one's mind, and that's really sad. That hurts me. But I applaud those, because I do read people where they said, I was homeless for a year, and, it's all because I wanted to go back to my family, and, they saw that I did drugs just to, because I was partying at this time and they didn't like it. And I think there's one guy where I've known him. I know him. I do. Him and his wife were partying. Like, they got into some stuff, and they decided to just do the wrong thing, and they got their son taken away for a year. And he told me, he goes, that hurt me the most. He goes, I'm almost 40 years old, and having my son taken away from me, and me and my wife not having a place to live. And now, he told me that he's been clean for almost a year. It's really hard for him, and that him and his wife have money put away. They're looking at a new home. It's things like that I applaud people, because they're doing it. They got themselves cleaned. And a lot of these places with the shelters, they do offer programs and classes, and they will ask them, if you want, if you're on any type of substance and you want to get clean, we are willing to help you. They offer classes and programs. And it really hurt me when a certain family member told me that she was on a substance, and I've seen her on substances. And Christmas Day, Thursday, so the day after Christmas, at the hotel rooms where a lot of the homeless people hang out at, or where they do their drugs, because this town is, you know a lot about it. And I'm stopping my work because I want to have a moment of silence for that person that was on a substance. That's what the article says anyways. And to wake up after the day of Christmas and to find out that a loved one passed away. It's not my loved one. It's somebody's loved one. It's somebody's dad. It's somebody's mom. It's somebody's sister. It's somebody's brother. It's somebody's, niece, nephew, uncle, aunt. It's somebody. That person was a somebody. But when you touch substances and you don't know what they're doing or how they're doing, that's kind of a problem. Because I've seen people where they're on a substance and they're not the same person. They will lash out at you. They will say things that make no sense whatsoever. What I'm upset about also is the fact that how come all these drugs are going around in our country, but yet no one seems to... How come we're not talking about the DARE program that we had in school? When I was in school, I remember DARE, the drug abusive... what is it called? Drug abuse... what is it called? If anyone looks it up, it's called the DARE program, and I'll leave it in the description box. But it's called DARE, and DARE is an educational, what happens when you do drugs, on certain drugs. This is what happens to your brain. This is what happens to your lungs. This is what happens to your body with alcohol. And now it's like, I'm not gonna lie, I saw a girl that I went to school with in junior high, and you can tell she admitted it. I can tell the moment I saw her, she was, and I go, how are you? She goes, I'm good, I'm good. She goes, just living with my boyfriend. I go, oh, that's nice. I go, how long have you guys been together? She goes, off and on for a few years. And I go, okay. I go, everything okay? I go, how are you doing? I know you went to a like a college that was in town. And she goes, yeah. She goes, I got my kids taken away. She goes, I'm still on that stuff, you know. And I didn't. I know what she means because I knew what she got involved with when I graduated college and I saw her. You know, I saw that. And she's not the same person. She was a pretty young girl, and now she's gone through some things. But if anyone is watching this video, this is Storytime Sunday, and go ahead and just drop some love in the comments for the people, to show support to, you know, our local shelters, and for those who are battling an addiction or that have battled an addiction, because I can only imagine how hard it is. Because I mean, from what I've heard is once an addict, always an addict. And I guess I did try my best to, you know, keep everyone safe, especially the elderly yesterday. But when someone is on a substance and they treat you rude and disrespectful, it's not right for anyone to take. Whether it's, you know, a passenger or the driver, it's just not right. But with that being said, I want to say thank you to all of you for joining me with Storytime Sunday. I will see you guys later on this week. If you like the video, please push the like button. And if you want to see more, go ahead and push the subscribe button. It was a pleasure working with you guys. I can't wait to see you guys again. I'll talk to you guys later. This is the drag queen of them all, Unica. Have a good day.